People have asked me, how do I create a painting? I don't know how other artists work, but I have my own, I suppose, my own process. And the best way that I can think of to try to describe that rather than in generalities is to talk about a specific painting. And so I'm going to talk about NightTraveler. It's one of my breakthrough paintings. It's one of my favorites. Uh, Obviously, the first step for me is a composition. I'm looking for something that will stir me. Never know where I'll find that. In this instance, with NightTraveler, I went out with my son one night. It was a rainy night. I knew I kind of wanted a rainy night. Went downtown and took a bunch of pictures. What's exciting to me is I take pictures and I won't look at them until I get home. So I never know what I'm going to get. But I'm always hoping that there's at least something that jumps out at me. In this instance, it was a picture up the way toward the carousel. I don't know why, it just struck me. And so I chose that as the painting that I would do. I knew that I wanted someone in the painting. I wanted someone with an umbrella. I knew that. And so the next night we went back to the same spot and started taking some more pictures. My son took pictures of me, and I put myself into the painting. And so you see, as I'm walking down the street, I had my favorite coat on, my favorite scarf on that night. So we have these different elements, and so we take shots. He was taking different pictures of me walking. But what was cool is, as I was taking pictures up the street, it just happened that this car went whizzing by. And I didn't realize it until the next day when I looked at the pictures. And then I started thinking, man, I wonder if I can really pull that off, if I could really show that sense of that movement. So now I have my composition. I know where my elements I want to put them. The next step is then to actually start, obviously, creating the painting. So I start from heavy-duty watercolor paint, the paper. This was white when it began. And except for some of the lights, some of these very bright lights, I keep those white for the time being. The rest of it, I use a mixture of black, white, and yellow over the entire thing, entire piece of paper, so that I can use that as my palette. I realized that time when I was created NightTraveler that I really, really like working from black up. It's a lot easier for me to work from a dark color and then be able to put light on top of that. So the next step then was to take a white pencil and draw in the elements. I feel really comfortable once I really have a sense of everything, where they're going to be, so that I have that grid, so to speak. I know the elements. I know where they're going to be. And so after that, it's a matter of beginning to put color down. And so I begin putting the colors into the buildings and to the lights. I'm using a lot of times with some of this in order to get a diffused light, so that it's not just, it's diffused like it is in nature. I'll use kind of a dry brush technique and almost work it in so I get that kind of nice flow. This particular painting flowed really well. I have some paintings that are really up and down. I really struggle sometimes, or they go very quickly. This one flowed really well. Once I got to the figure, it was a little bit of a challenge. If you look at the painting, the face is very subtle, but it was a challenge to get that. And so I had to keep working at it. And finally, I got to the point where I could stand back and look at this and think, wow, I feel good about this. I feel a satisfaction. And so that's a little bit of the process that I go through to create my particular paintings.